Sure, trusting just any seafood restaurant that you spot on your daily commute isn't always wise, but there's sure to be a go-to seafood chain for you. How well do these chains strike the perfect balance between great seafood and a low price tag? Here they are, ranked from worst to best. Unless you are really desperate, Long John Silver's isn't a national seafood chain you should visit. Everything is so oily and greasy that you will feel regret by the time you finish your meal. Unless showering in fish-scented oil sounds like a fun time to you, stay away. It also shouldn't surprise you that Long John Silver's has some of the unhealthiest meals that can be found anywhere. With seemingly all their menu options drenched in oil, your caloric intake is destined to be quite high by the time you're finished, all for no satisfaction. If you ignore this advice and still venture to Long John Silver's out of your own volition, skip the fish and all the other seafood options and just order a platter of their yummy hush puppies.
We are actually serving some great fresh seafood.
Better than Long John's?
Yes.
I'll be the judge of that. Enjoy your evening.
Don't be confused and think that Bubba Gump Shrimp Company is a long-treasured seafood chain that is somehow a part of Forrest Gump's origin story. The truth of the matter is that this chain didn't become a thing until 2 years after the movie was released in theaters. The seafood at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company isn't terrible, but everything about this place is undeniably gimmicky. The decorations at their more than 30 locations are neat, but their seafood is overpriced. In fact, it's easy to find people who classify Bubba Gump Shrimp Company as a tourist trap. Considering that these restaurants are often strategically located in places where tourists congregate, that's a claim that would be difficult to deny. Even if you're a big fan of Bubba Blue and want to taste the fruit of the sea, go get your shrimp kebab, shrimp gumbo, or shrimp creole elsewhere. Bubba himself would be ashamed of this place.
Shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes, shrimp burger, shrimp sandwich.
You might remember Arthur Treacher's as the place to go for amazing fish and chips. With a history that dates all the way back to the 1860s, this national seafood chain used to have more than 800 locations. Keywords: used to. Don't let nostalgia convince you that it's a good idea to track down their nearest restaurant. It's not what it used to be. While there were multiple reasons for the demise of Arthur Treacher's, perhaps the most damaging to their business was when the price of cod skyrocketed in the 1970s due to the cod wars between Britain and Iceland. While Americans loved their fish and chips when the price was right and the portions were huge, the enthusiasm faded when the cost of their food started to increase. Even if you live near one of the remaining Arthur Treacher's restaurants, you'd be wasting your time if you paid it a visit. The fish isn't as good as it used to be, and the food no longer offers a good amount of bang for your buck.
What's the problem?
It smells like fish in here.
What is that? What was that? Some sort of signal? Huh? Is that a signal? No.
Landry's Seafood House is like a slightly upgraded version of Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. This restaurant isn't as gimmicky, but most of the food options are bland. And when you factor in the high prices, this is just not a national seafood chain that's worthy of a recommendation. Not surprisingly, if you scour the internet, you'll find lukewarm reviews for many of their locations. If you decide to go to Landry's Seafood House, the best plan is to keep your order simple. Skip the overpriced seafood dishes that don't live up to expectations and go with something simple, like the IPA fish and chips. You get beer-battered fish fillets, breaded strings of onions, and fries for a price that won't break the bank. Joe's Crab Shack is a safe place to go, but before you do, you have to go in with a plan because there are a handful of menu items at this national seafood chain that you should never order. Those items include the shrimp scampi, fried calamari, and the crab and shrimp dip. Additionally, all of their non-seafood offerings, like their pasta dishes and anything with chicken in it, should be skipped. What you'll be happy with at Joe's Crab Shack is either the crab bucket or the peel and eat shrimp. If you opt for crab, your sweet tooth would appreciate it if you order the snow crab, as its meat has a surprising amount of sweetness to it. If you want your crab to be tender and have a mild flavor, go for the Dungeness crab instead. As for the peel and eat shrimp, it comes blessed with Old Bay seasoning, and you can order it hot or cold. Chart House is a national seafood chain that has locations from sea to shining sea, and many places in between. All of their restaurants are beautiful. The views are often breathtaking, and this is definitely a place to go if you're looking to impress a date or if you're looking to close an important business deal. However, if the quality of the food is your one and only concern, Chart House isn't as memorable. While Chart House has really good crafted cocktails and a host of tasty appetizers, their seafood entrees don't taste as fresh as the dishes you can find elsewhere. To make matters worse, the sizes of the portions will leave you feeling underwhelmed. Considering the lofty prices at this restaurant, only visit if you value the views and aren't too hungry. All of King's Fish House locations are in the western U.S., with the majority being in the state of California. East Coasters might be jealous of the impressive array of items on their dinner menu, but the truth is that they aren't missing out on much. King's Fish House has just about every type of seafood you can imagine. They have a raw oyster bar, a variety of sushi options, all the shellfish you could want, tuna from the Pacific Ocean, soft-shell crabs, and, of course, all the shrimp. The issue with King's Fish House is none of their menu items stand out from the rest. Yes, everything is pretty decent, but nothing will blow you away. Ocean Prime is an award-winning seafood chain with locations throughout the nation, from Beverly Hills to Boston. The restaurants are pleasantly fancy and most of the food is good. Ocean Prime can be described as consistently above average in terms of the food it offers, and no matter what you order, you're not going to be disappointed. What stops Ocean Prime from climbing higher in our ranking of national seafood chains? It's the fact that their steaks are what truly steal the show. For a seafood restaurant, they have great steaks. Their seafood, from the blackened snapper to the Alaskan king crab legs, is above average, but it's not quite at the same level. Preferably, you'd want a seafood restaurant to treasure the surf more than it treasures the turf. Besides, if it's an outstanding steak that you're after, you're better off going to one of the top national steakhouse chains. Red Lobster is the McDonald's of casual seafood chains. And that's not meant as an insult. If you want seafood that reliably tastes good and a restaurant that you can count on to carry your favorites at an affordable price, go to a Red Lobster with confidence. They've been in business since 1968, and they're responsible for many advancements and trends in the world of seafood restaurants. For example, Red Lobster claims to have literally invented popcorn shrimp, and no matter which of their tasty menu items you decide to order, you can also look forward to their mouth-wateringly amazing cheddar biscuits. But if you're looking for the ultimate seafood, Red Lobster is not the place where you should go. Just like if you're looking for the best hamburger in your town, you wouldn't go to McDonald's. Red Lobster serves its purpose of offering quality seafood at reasonable prices. If you go here with those expectations, you'll leave the restaurant wholly satisfied. There's a lot to like about Eddie V's Prime Seafood. If you think that you've already tried every type of seafood imaginable, visit this national seafood chain for an exciting change of pace. Eddie V's Prime Seafood was born in Austin, Texas, and their South Texas roots are apparent on their menu. Their Maine lobster tacos are phenomenal. These tacos are created with homemade tortillas and are topped with pico de gallo that features grilled corn. While Eddie V's Prime Seafood has steak, you'll definitely want to stick to the seafood. Their steak isn't bad, but it's not on the same level as the rest of their menu. You'll be glad you did. If you love eating fish, McCormick Schmick is a place you should visit at least once in your life. While most of what can be found on their menu is really good, it's their fish that stands out from the rest. Their cedar-roasted Atlantic salmon is spectacular. It's extremely flavorful and satisfyingly moist. If you find that most salmon is too dry, you'll adore this dish. The other menu item to consider is their open blue cobia. If you've never had cobia before, it's white fish with a rich flavor that has a naturally buttery taste. McCormick Schmick prepares it perfectly. While you could also get it pan-seared, broiled, or in taco form, order it grilled to experience cobia at its best. While seafood that you acquire through a fast food window usually isn't something to write home about, Captain D's Seafood Kitchen is one of the rare exceptions. Compared to Long John Silver's, the fare you can find at this restaurant is much better. After you finish eating at this national seafood chain, you won't feel an ounce of regret. The menu at Captain D's Seafood Kitchen is surprisingly extensive, especially for a place that offers drive-through service. Whether you want fish fillets, popcorn shrimp, blackened entrees, or just a crab cake, you can find it on their menu. Everything has a good amount of flavor, and you won't be overwhelmed by oiliness like you would at Long John Silver's. Your order at Captain D's Seafood Kitchen should always include one of their scrumptious desserts. While their funnel cake sticks and their cheesecake with strawberry topping are both delicious options that people of all ages will enjoy, their pecan pie reigns supreme. Freshness is the name of the game at Legal Seafoods. In fact, their motto insinuates that seafood that isn't fresh should be illegal. That's a sentiment that every seafood lover can get behind. Not only are the menu items at Legal Seafoods pristinely fresh, the variety is quite impressive. From clams and oysters to crispy fried North Atlantic sea scallops, and from grilled swordfish steak to black and raw tuna, you'll be thrilled with whatever it is that you order. Even if you think you don't like clam chowder, try the chowder at Legal Seafoods and be prepared for your mind to be changed. If a super fancy seafood restaurant is what you desire, head to Truluck's. This national chain offers fine dining, with their immaculate seafood taking center stage. Sure, a lot of their food is costly. However, there's a reason why their reviews are virtually perfect no matter where you look online. While the menu at Truluck's isn't lengthy, everything is absolutely excellent. Their lobster specifically is as good as you can find anywhere. Whether you order a lobster tail, lobster bisque, or even their one-of-a-kind lobster mashed potatoes, your taste buds will experience seafood nirvana. If you want something adventurous, the Mediterranean branzino features a whole fish that's been roasted to perfection and topped with olive oil, while the Florida stone crab makes it right to your plate after being plucked from the waters of the Sunshine State. It's so fresh, it's practically still swimming.
Here, it's yours!
A trip to Pappadeaux Seafood Kitchen always results in a happy time for everyone in your party. While the food and the atmosphere isn't nearly as fancy as what you'd find at a seafood chain like Truluck's, they make up for it with a fun and relaxed ambiance, an attentive waitstaff, and a diverse menu. If it's your first visit and you don't know what to order, simply tell your waiter that you want the Pappadeaux platter. You'll soon be presented with a ginormous feast that includes catfish, crawfish, shrimp, oysters, and crab. While it's all really good, the crawfish is what you'll remember. It's the best crawfish you will ever taste, and that's not a claim we take lightly. While Bonefish Grill is a relatively young national seafood chain, it's now far and away the best of the best. How did they blow away the competition? This place is simply the perfect balance of what makes a seafood restaurant great. Founded in 2000, their restaurants are upscale, but still comfortable and casual enough that you can feel like you're at home. When it comes to the menu at Bonefish Grill, they have all the favorites covered and add to it with a wide array of creative options that will leave you yearning for more. Regardless of what you select, the presentation will be beautiful, the food will be delicious, and you will agree that you have successfully located the best seafood chain in America. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about restaurant chains are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.